Hello. Hello, my friends. So look, I'm going to tell you a sad doping story of this Summer Olympics in London. I am the editor of the journal called Doping Journal. I'm now on a kind of a cyclic vacation after the knee trauma 7 weeks ago now. I didn't follow thoroughly the Olympic Games, but it's just the beginning. I missed the opening ceremony, although I don't have cable TV to watch it. And I noticed the internet that it's where it's blocked, all the translations, all the broadcasting. I'm an editor of Doping Journal. The open access scholar publication aiming to publish original research and essays on all issues of performance enhancement. While Olympics is a hot time for doping, I just follow the events, and if I see something interesting, then I catch on it and follow. So 2 days ago, on the late night on July 31st, I discovered the publication on a Chinese woman athlete who did an incredible swim and got the gold. And what I discovered was just the speculation that she is cheating. It was published in the British newspaper The Guardian. So then I realized this is a case I should investigate, research it. So it took the whole yesterday to research the issue. I was communicating actually with the author of that article in The Guardian. And it took time to understand. The article is written in a way that it leaves a lot of bias around it. So it provokes the reader to take the situation in the way, but it understates a number of issues. And it took time for me to research a whole 24 hours. You see, I didn't shake myself, yeah? So to find out what's going on. So it leaves more rumors than answers. But importantly, it charges the Chinese athlete with doping cheating. But there are no data to support this. And this is very sad. You see, my first emotion, oh gosh, I didn't switch on the counter. Okay, let me do it. So I know I have just 27 minutes on the camera to record, then I have to transfer it to the computer. So, like, my first emotion was that this Mr. Leonard, this coach, is somehow associated with the US team, with the US women team, and that he speaks for that team, for the USA as a nation. You see, and I realized that as soon as Chinese women athletes are doing so good, US women are losers. So I thought that Leonard just sounded his incredibly biased speech right at the proper time, because he was not airing just for the past, for her goal, but for the future, for the rest of the Olympics. Because if someone is under the charges of doping, then he is nervous, although he is clean. It's not pleasant. So the issue I took it, was to demoralize Chinese athletes. You see, is it Olympic behavior? Okay, so and the second, I saw that, look, it's obligation of Olympic Committee to defend innocent athletes. So I did the research, and I wrote an essay. It's, I forgot, 3,300 words or something like that, but it's a not very dense text of 8 pages with big margins. So now I want to present this article as a video article. So it has great impact through YouTube presentation. I have a lot to say to you, fans, supporters of Chinese, haters, for everyone. But I want this first article, this first presentation, to follow the text. You see, it's one thing is to write 3 lines of text as a comment, and another is to do like every word in this article is supported by the documents. So it's another issue. Yeah, I should rush because the time Olympics is going on, and still I'm a little bit delayed, I think. But I did it carefully. I didn't present first the video with my emotions. I wanted to put the article as it is. Now I want to present this article as a formal video presentation. But then in the next video, in the next several videos, I will dissect it with no papers, but emotionally, with what I digest through my soul. So let me go. I entitled this editorial in the Doping Journal the following way: Ye Shiwen London 2012 Summer Olympic Games Women Doping Allegations. Yok, Nok, IFs fail in a test to safeguard modern Olympism and innocent athletes. It's now addressed to Mr. Rock, the International Olympic Committee president, but it will be addressed to all national committees, to all parties involved, to national committees, to women federations, to Chinese delegation, and to father of Ye and to Ye herself. So I still need to write 100, 200 word summary, so it can be like the heading, sub-heading of the article. But 8 pages, 3,000 words of text is here. Dear Mr. Rock, yesterday evening I learned of a sad breach of Olympic Charter, reference follows, and the Olympic Code of Ethics by a recognized coach, mediated by an accredited media member. Report, right from an Olympic Village grounds at London 2012 Summer Olympic Games. Subheading 1, case study of groundless doping allegations. The text follows. On July 30th, 2012, British newspaper The Guardian published an excerpt of a testimony by John Leonard, Executive Director of World Women Coaches Association and American Women Coaches Association. The article author is Andy Gould, reporting from the Olympic Aquatic Center. The newspaper states that China has become embroiled in the first doping controversy of the London Games, after one of the world's most respected coaches described the swimming prodigy, Ye Shiwen's gold medal performance, as unbelievable and disturbing. The article says, the American John Leonard definition of the 16-year-old's performance was suspicious. Ye won gold in the 400 meters individual medley in a world record time. It was her final 100 meters of freestyle, in which she recorded a split time of 58.68 seconds, that aroused Leonard's suspicion. Over the last 50 meters, she was quicker than the American male athlete Ryan Lochte, who won the men's 400-meter individual medley in the second faster time in history. The Guardian says, quoting John Leonard, the one thing I will say is that history in our sport will tell you that every time we see something, and I will put quotation marks around this, unbelievable, history shows us that it turns out later there was a doping involved. That last 100 meters was reminiscent of some old East German swimmers, for people who have been around for a while. Leonard also says it is fair to point to the positive tests incurred by Chinese athletes in the past. Well, yeah. Gosh, time flashes, huh? 6 minutes past and I have 20 maybe more minutes. Leonard is the first major figure in the swimming world to go public with suspicions over Ye performance, the Guardian concludes. So he is a major figure in the swimming world. Commenting on Ye's 7 seconds faster result in the London Olympic 400 meters individual medley final, compared to the World Championship result of July 2011, Leonard further said that although this vast improvement was possible, it would be very hard to achieve. But the final 100 meters was just impossible, flat out. If all her split times had been faster, I don't think anybody would be calling it into question, because she's a good swimmer. But to swim 3 other splits at the rate that she did, which was quite ordinary for elite competition, and then unleash a historic anomaly, is just not right. I have been around swimming for 4.5 decades now, he said. If you have been around swimming, you know when something has been done that just isn't right. I have heard commentators saying, well, she's 16, and at that age amazing things happen. Well, yes, but not that amazing. I'm sorry. No coach that I spoke to yesterday could ever recall seeing anything remotely like that in world-level competition, where someone could outsplit one of the fastest male swimmers in the world and beat the woman ahead of her by 3.5 body length. All those things, I think, legitimately call that swim into question. Why Leonard says at The Guardian that we want to be very careful about calling it doping. He adds that while Ye looks like Superwoman, anytime someone has looked like Superwoman in the history of our sport, they have later been found guilty of doping. I am sure that FINA and the doping authorities have taken every sample they can take, and the sample will be tested and available for testing for the next 8 years. And over 8 years, if there is something unusual going on in terms of genetic manipulation, so he projects there are genetic manipulations, or something else, I would suspect over 8 years science will move fast enough to catch it. I have every faith that eventually if there is something there to be caught, it will be caught. Right now, all we can say is Olympic champion, world record holder, and watch out for history, Leonard concludes. So the second subtitle of my investigation is called Case Study Questions. Why and how the presented case violates Olympic Charter and Olympic Code of Ethics at London 2012 Summer Olympic Games. Please note that first reported by The Guardian from London Olympic Village grounds, testimony by Leonard is now quoted by a great number of media members worldwide, despite the fact it lacks any scientific or medical evidence. Global media verdict is straightforward. Ye Shiwen will always be viewed with suspicion, as depicted from the title of one of a great number of publication reference follows. I researched this unfair dealing of a Chinese woman athlete for 2 days, and yet have no clear answer on whose behalf Leonard responsibly spoke when he said we. First, he is an executive director of World Swimming Coaches Association and American Swimming Coaches Association, reference follows. The World Swimming Coaches Association website identifies 123 countries of coaches with individual membership and names 8 National Coaches Association memberships by Australia, Canada, Germany, Great Britain, Philippines, South Africa, Tanzania, and USA. Does Leonard speak on behalf of coaches from all those nations and their national swimming federations? Does he speak on behalf of the membership of American Swimming Coaches Association? Does he speak on behalf of Team USA at London 2012? As The Guardian articles attest, Leonard is a major figure in the swimming world, a top US coach, and that his comments are liable for further increase tensions between China and the Americans. Does he speak on behalf of all male athletes, or on behalf of American male swimmer Ryan Lochte, as he performed better over the last 50 meters of freestyle than the Ryan Lochte did? Is it a written discrimination between games participants on the basis of gender by an accredited Olympic media member? Does the news report by The Guardian from Olympic Village promote the principles of values of Olympism and are in agreement with Olympic Charter on accredited media coverage of the Olympic Games? Just page 3. When asked about accusation that she was doping, he replied, the Chinese team keep very firmly to the anti-doping policies, so there is absolutely no problem. However, a day later, Chinese swimmer's father says Ye Shiwen, exhausted and struggling with relentless questions over doping. The father of Chinese teenage swimmer attempts to defend his daughter, but is it his responsibility? Is this a case of mental injury to Olympic Games participants? Is it a prohibited instruction to intervene in a given manner within the organs of the yoke? Should yoke protect any athlete when he, or now she, is in trouble with such an unfair, groundless allegations? In my view, the presented case is a set breach of Olympic Charter and Olympic Code of Ethics at Olympic Village of London 2012 Games, as presented below. So the following subsections, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 4 something full pages. Yeah, I list the specific wording of two documents of Olympic Code of Ethics and Olympic Charter, and identify places with my notes which, in my view, this story violates. So because, look, it's the time will end soon, we need to finish, I hope, and we need to keep in time. So I will not read all these items, but let me follow just some of them. No, there are the issue of dignity. Safeguarding the dignity of the individual is a fundamental requirement of Olympism. There should be no discrimination between the participants on the basis of race, gender, ethnic origin, religion, philosophical, political opinions. You can read it using the reference at the publication in the doping journal. So the integrity, the Olympians shall respect the rules concerning conflicts of interest and interest affecting the behavior of Olympic parties. Good governance and resources. So I, for example, noted under the integrity item 6, Olympic parties, the agents and their representatives must not be involved with firms or persons whose activity or reputation is consistent with the principles set out in the Olympic Charter and the present code. And apparently Leonard is a person who is not consistent with these principles. So the concern is that if he is talking on the US team, or so US team is somehow affected by his opinion, then they should proclaim distance from him. So another, for example, the basic universal principle of good governance on the Olympics and sports movement, in particular transparency, responsibility and accountability, must be respected by all Olympic movement constituents. And what I say, the issue is applies to those with whom Leonard is associated through his associations, to that coaches, this is applied. The Olympic resources of the Olympic parties may be used only for Olympic purposes, and here's another issue, because the Guardian correspondent prepared these articles being in the Olympic swimming pool. So did he use it for Olympic purpose, or just to disrupt the Olympic principle? So we go on. The York Ethics Commission may set out the provisions for the implementation of the present code in a set implementation. Okay, so, but so there are a number of items suggesting that York is responsible to react on this. So let me go forward to the next age limit. There should be no age limit. Media coverage. York takes all necessary steps in order to ensure the fullest coverage of the games, and it's the objective of the Olympic movement. The media coverage should spread and promote the principles and values of Olympism, and this is the promotion of values of fair play. So, after this list of items that this story conflicts with, I go to the next sections of my article, which is entitled No Written Counteraction of York or Knock on the Breach of the Olympic Charter and Code of Ethics. Okay, we have now one page left, I hope. Let me see. Okay, we have 5 minutes left, I think. Oh gosh, on the camera, memory card. So, no written counteraction of International Olympic Committee, National Olympic Committees on the breach of the Olympic Charter and Code of Ethics. Today follow-up article at The Guardian, entitled, today means yesterday, it was, I was preparing this article yesterday, August the 1st, now is August 2nd. Today follow-up article at The Guardian, entitled, Ye Shiwen calmly takes another gold as drug claim storm rages around her, quotes Colin Moynihan, chairman of the British Olympic Association, televised press appearance. She's been through WADA's and the World Anti-Doping Agency programme, and she's clean. That's the end of the story. Ye Shiwen deserves recognitions for her talent. Let's recognize an extraordinary swimmer. In another television news report, International Olympic Committee spokesman Mark Adams told CNN that doping allegations made against Chinese swimmer Ye Shiwen are pure rumors. References follow. While Arne Lindquist, chairman of the International Olympic Committee Medical Commission, said at the press conference that he keeps suspicions around the Chinese swimmer for himself. I haven't personally any reason to concern about this particular swimmer unless I have further facts. Well, I say that it's not the end of the story, as Lord Colin Moynihan claims. My vision is that groundless attack on Chinese athlete is well thought and planned to demoralize Chinese athletes right for the rest of London Summer Olympic Games 2012. Not everyone can calmly take another gold as drug rumors go on, especially when father of E, not York, have to defend her outstanding daughter. Too bad. However, if so, the duet by Mr. Leonard and The Guardian, orchestrated by world media, did its job, as Chinese women's swimmers team lost today, on August 1, in 200 meters by 4 freestyle relay. Seen late at night into August 2nd, 2012, official website of the Olympic movement, news section reports on how American swimmer Michael Phelps, who deserves a separate serious doping abuse investigation and stripping of all Olympic medals, I will talk about this in a separate presentation, rewrote the record books on Tuesday evening at the London 2012 Olympic Games, becoming the most decorated Olympian of all time. Major Olympic website and its medical commission section miss the official statement by York that at the same time, modern Olympism was severely damaged by the case reported herein. Likewise, there is no written statement at the hosting British Olympic Association, having competing interest in this case, American Olympic Committee, National Governing Body for the Sports of Swimming in the United States, USA Swimming, or FINA, Federation of International Swimming, official websites. Let me stop references count at 16. I have 16 references in the article. The age of Ye, a true hero of this Summer Olympics. Conclusion. In conclusion, I have to tell you the following. Blah, 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 in front of cameras, is not a legitimate record-keeping way to protect modern Olympism, as conceived by Pierre de Coubertin 100 years ago, to preserve the integrity of Olympism of future, and to safeguard innocent athletes, who do suffer by your lack of required, deserved, and the overdue lack of appropriate counter-action, in full accord with Olympic Charter and the Olympic Code of Ethics. Do something. I will never look at Ye Shiwen with suspicion, but as a celebration of athlete integrity, a premier that for a loving person, in peace with her soul, nothing is impossible. I will also take this case as a fact of International Olympic Committee, National Olympic Committees, International and National Sports Federation failure in a doping case test to safeguard innocent athletes, period. So thank you for Watching this, I will make a reference for the full article, so what I mean, there is a one appendix with more documents, so you can read it. But look, I wanted to follow the text, so I tried to do it, and still it's a lot of time. But, so what I will do next, look, I realize I'm getting as a part of my doping responsibilities, like in the journal. I get emails with new publications, news, so I think that I will go with daily updates.